Yeah, good morning, Tim, Nicole. Well, we just got an update, and basically around 8:38 p.m. last night, there was a semi truck that crashed and overturned, and it was carrying ammonium nitrate. That's a hazardous material. And in that update we just got, we also want to mention that they expect the road to be closed at least for the next few hours. They're expecting eastbound lanes to reopen around 10 a.m. this morning. Now, in terms of that crash, here's a couple more of those updates. Washington State has told us it's an odorless chemical compound that's used for things such as fertilizer and even explosives, and the explosives portion is really what caused a lot of that concern, because of course with the semi truck they also have diesel in that. They didn't want those two to combine, but with those updates they told us that a tow has removed the tractor portion, and that was the major concern in terms of getting the diesel separated from that nitrate. The tank has been secured for inspection. The tank still is around over there on I-90 eastbound, so they're going to work to continue to get that removed. Another tow truck is on the way to go ahead and process that. They're going to try to get all of the material sucked out of that tank and transferred over to a new tank as much as possible that they can. There was 56,000 pounds of the product that was in the tank, and currently, they do feel like there was some of the materials that leaked into the soil, so they're going to have a kind of a wall around that for the immediate future. And even once the eastbound lanes reopen, they'll still have some crews out here. I believe the Department of Ecology is one of those that they mentioned in terms of just getting all of that removed, and they believe they can get all of that removed and create a safer environment as well. But those are the major updates that we have right now. Again, that eastbound lane is expected to reopen around 10 a.m. And here's some sound we got last night of kind of just what the whole situation was looking like.
Unfortunately, he was hauling a hazardous material, ammonium nitrate. There is a breach in that tank. So what they're doing right now is looking at the containment and seeing if we can offload the material.
So in about in half an hour, you'll hear from that conversation we just had literally 5 minutes before we got on camera. But according to Washington State Patrol, the driver of the semi truck, he had a heart attack, and that's what caused the accident. He went across several lanes across westbound and eastbound before eventually crashing into a ditch off of I-90 eastbound. So they said he got surgery last night. We're still waiting on a potential update on the status, but they said he's lucky to be alive. And currently we're going to stay out here. We're going to follow this detour. In terms of the detour, we also were made aware that it's about a 12-minute detour off of State Route 904. You go around into Cheney and you're able to pop back on to I-90 eastbound. But for right now, reporting live in Spokane County, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Yeah, so about a 12-minute detour, Brandon, you're telling us. So are you seeing traffic start to pick up in the area, because we're in the thick of the morning commute at this hour?
No, you know, that's the surprising thing, Tim, and we even asked the Washington State Patrol about that as well. He said everything has been fairly calm. There hasn't been any backup. There hasn't been any problems in terms of getting on this detour and making your way around the closures. And again, as I mentioned, hopefully they do have that solidified and they're able to reopen around 10 a.m. and that's what they're currently expecting. But so far, no problems. You can see cars right behind me passing through, and there's been no backups.
Yeah, and Brandon, bring us there to the situation. Is there any smell, like a chemical smell, or does it seem fine at this hour?
Yeah, no, everything seems fine, but that's also something that we researched as well. And ammonium nitrate, it's an odorless chemical, it's a colorless chemical, and the only reason that officials out here said they're able to see it, you know, once it comes out of the truck and once that hole was breached into the actual tank, is because it has its own kind of component where it foams up. So that's when you're able to see it. But there's no odor that you smell right now, and no kind of lasting smell at this point.
Brandon, thank you.